was just different from any of the other bars that had been built in Ocean City. All the venues in Ocean City were pretty much downtown or on the highway. We were hidden back here on the bay, and there was like talk like no one will ever find you. We weren't quite ready to open, but we did anyway because we just decided we had to open, or I decided we had to open, I guess. We didn't have a soft opening, it wasn't an invitation opening, or we just opened like 5 o'clock, June 16th, 1975. This is pretty much what Fager's Island looked like in 1975 when we first opened. It was a square box, a ramp that walked up because I built on pilings. The idea was that once the real estate market turned, I would cut the pilings, move this building elsewhere, and build townhouses. That plan died opening night.
Welcome to Fager's Island. I started here in 1985 till present. I've enjoyed every minute. It's been a wild ride and I love being here. I have a great office window behind me and I look forward to a couple more years here.
Hi, I'm Charlie Smith. I hooked up with the island in 1978. Been a real nice career here, and I can't tell you how much I loved it. I just enjoyed every day of it.
My name is John Laws. 1985 to 2019, I was the executive chef. And I started working here in the spring of 1976 as a dishwasher.
Oh, wow.
Then doing salads, then cooking, and that was it.
Everything was communicated kind of through the coconut telegraph is what I call it, which is just basically word of mouth through town. Word got out, and word got around town that we were going to open. I was in a three-piece suit. That's how it was in those days, tie. So I think around about 10 o'clock, when we were expecting our biggest surge of people, this huge thunderstorm erupted right at the time that we were getting ready really to have our biggest influx of people. When I say we weren't ready to open yet, the parking lot was dirt. So much rain came down, it really turned into a mud field. We had a flat roof at the time. We forgot to put in any drainage. The weight of that water actually pushed down on the roof, cracked that beam. Up by the old fireplace, there was sort of a Niagara Falls of water coming down right through the building. No one seemed to care. We just kept going. We just kept right on going. The place was mobbed until 2 in the morning. From there, you know, Fager's Island, and every night it just took off on its own, became like its own entity, you know, and just went on. And here we are, 50 years later.
I think this is a good place for people that enjoy being in the environment, enjoy the challenge. It's kind of amazing, like, you know, we'll spin up a Friday night here and you've got the bands and DJs and you got the deck and you got anniversaries and people meeting each other for the first time, and you got people of all ages and everything. Place closes, it all goes away. What really was accomplished there, it means it's hard to define, and then the next day we put it all together and do it again, but you've made all those sort of little magic moments, and this place has so much to offer. They're not just coming here to party, the nightclub, whatever else. They're coming to meet their friends, come have dinner, bring their family here, work, make a lot of money.
I came in and I asked somebody if I could have a job, and they said go downstairs, and I talked to Don and John. They said, well, when can you start? I said, I can start right now, but can I get a roast beef sandwich? So that was good. Met John for all of 10 minutes, and they needed a liquor run, and he flipped me the keys to his Cadillac, and he gave me a signed blank check. And I remember walking out in the parking lot going, man, I could work for this guy for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? So, and there you go.
I wasn't here for the beginning part and really up till I could remember, but you know, I'm just so thankful to be here, so thankful to have a father and a mother like John and Michelle that put me in the business at a young age and made sure I worked every single position all the way up to the top. It's also meant a lot having a whole nother family here, all the employees and staff over the years. You know, I grew up with all these people, you know, whether it's a dishwasher, a line cook, a bartender. These people just have also been a huge part of my life.
I ended up going off to college for a couple years, went to Virginia Tech, and then I came back here and started as a manager just about 2 years ago. Really, some of my first memories were the employees. They've always been so nice and so willing to take care of me and Jack when we were little. Some of them are still around today, you know, so it really, really feels like it has a family feel here.
I think there is just a great, unique collection of very special people that work here. And that's a big part of what makes the place what it is and makes it, you know, bigger than any one person. So I'm always very appreciative of the staff when I look back on it or I think of different people. Everybody's able to pitch in. It's a lot like sports. It's like team sports or something in the sense of everybody pitches in. They're good people before they're good bartenders or good managers. That's a huge part that has to be said.
I started as a barback here at Fager's Island. I was recruited by Frank Fetter. I was at another restaurant here in town. And my first day I walked in and John Fager was here at the door to shake my hand and greet me, and I was overwhelmed at that. And I just learned that he was such a gentle and easygoing, but yet a gregarious and fun-loving individual. It was an environment that I wanted to stay with and work with and grow with. And since that point, I became a bartender and then eventually morphed into the bar manager for 20 years. I've since retired from that position.
I think the way it went is John and his sometimes partner Leo DeLeo took over Finnegan's Rainbow, and since I had some experience there, they put me in charge of that. So I ran that for a summer or two, and then came back here, and then somehow or another I wound up as general manager.
How I became the executive chef is John had gone through some people and I was available. I'm not trained as a chef, but I was good with the ordering and scheduling and all of that stuff, and I ended up hiring people who could be the creative ones as far as, you know, big ideas in the kitchen.
You know, we started small. We started with just that 50 by 50 box, and then we added a deck, and then we added another bar, and then an outdoor bar, and didn't have a roof or anything. Then we added a roof. As the demand was there, and as we had the money to do it, you know, we just expanded, right up until last spring when we put the new Peace Bar in. So it's really never stopped, and we call like Fager's Island the eternal child. It's just like a child that just is still growing up. You know, it just keeps evolving, you know, and becoming a little bit more mature, but not like completely mature, because we always keep this kind of real young, childish view of things, which may or may not be practical, but so far it's worked for us.
The thing about this place is John did it right. The building grew as business grew with it. So he never did anything unless the business warranted it. So when we needed to expand a bar, he did it. When we needed a new deck, he put on a new deck.
Barry, who was my coworker and also a bartender here that was the bar manager briefly, went to John and he said, hey, what do you think about creating a new outside bar environment? And John and myself and Barry, John jumped up on the rafters and looked at both Barry and I and said, jump up here. And we looked at him like he was crazy. And we said, why? We're gonna tear this bar down. And we started rocking and swinging, trying to literally tear the bar down. And so John's always been his strongest suit. He was willing to take suggestions from the employees. And he always said this place took on a life of its own because he was willing to accept ideas and grow the place. So then we tore it down, it became a big bar, and then it changed a couple times after that. We reduced the size to create more intimacy, but that was always one of our strong suits, is having the intimacy of a bar.
His father, who I was never able to meet, he was here in 1975, 1974 before we opened, helping my dad build the main bar and helping him do the tile in the bathroom. Even though I was never able to meet him, it was so cool to hear that, where it felt like, you know, his hands built this bar and like here I am working, you know, so it's really special.
And so by the end of 1975, we opened a small what we called the day kitchen, really day and night, but that's where we had sandwiches, burgers. A good friend of mine who was a chef, Mark Mayers, had some time off. So he said, I'll come in and help you set up some dinner. We had 5 tables in this little 10 by 10 kitchen. I went back to the bank, who I'd just begun to pay. I said, hey guys, I need to double, you know, what I owe you because I want to build the dining room. They were like, what? You want more money and you haven't even paid us back the other money? I'm like, yeah. So anyway, I got the money and then we built the dining room.
The original menu was designed by Mark Mayers. The onion soup, the barbecued shrimp, his duck idea, that was all him. We ran out of one kitchen, which was the light tour kitchen, which prime rib was always on the menu. You know, we bought Alta Shams to cook it in, and it takes, you know, 6 to 8 hours. Sold a ton. Nobody really knows about it. There's been menu changes because John would just put a picture of something on my desk or in my mailbox and say, well, let's do this. And I think the big one through about 2010, or maybe a little before, through till about COVID, was fish tacos. And it all evolved from a picture that I got, and, you know, we get together, where are the details? I want this on it, I want that on it. I think in the summer of 2017, from right about now, July 4th through Labor Day, we were doing 100 pounds of fish for the tacos a week. So, I mean, during that stretch, there's thousands of tacos coming out of these kitchens.
What I've kind of learned over the years is it means so much to other people and every customer that walks in this building. All the core memories people have, all the engagements, weddings, birthdays, any kind of celebration. Their first stop when they come to Ocean City is Fager's Island. They drive 10 hours in traffic. They go through all this trouble. They save up all winter for this. And they finally come down here and their first stop is at the bar. I'm the first impression that they have of the building. So just that customer service aspect that we have here and that I've learned is just so important to what makes Fager's Island so special.
I've always known this place was going to be my home, you know, not just Fager's, but Ocean City. So I was in Blacksburg, Virginia. Don't get me wrong, I love the football there and everything, but I did get pretty homesick. Coming back here in the summertime to work was like always exciting. It always meant so much to me. Really feel like I got to reconnect with everybody and just putting in hard work. That's who I am. It just felt good to do that, you know. So I guess I felt like I was home, you know, doing work here.
I believed in the hospitality industry, and that means to cater to the customer, and that the philosophy that the customer is always right, unless they've been drinking too much, you know. But I really do believe in that premise. So I've always maintained and preached and practiced, you know, to the staff and try to practice myself that the customer comes first, and to respect the customer and to give the ultimate hospitality that you could.
I've been watching it so much. So we have the deck bands. They play from like 5 to 9. And I'll stand there and I'll watch customers come out of the dining, family, older people, whatever, and then they look out on the deck, and then, because maybe it wasn't going off when they came in at 6, but when they leave at 8, and I just want to put a big arrow that says fun this way, because the look on their faces, they're like, what is going on in this place?
You know, I don't remember exactly what year it was, but I know I was the one that started out hiring all the bands. That's why we had so many Charlie's Follies. Well, I wasn't a talent scout, and you know, and I didn't know everything about music, but I would go to different cities and stuff like that and look at bands and everything and say, oh, we got to have them at Fager's and everything. I can't remember whether they approached us or I approached them, but Junior Klein and the Recliners, Junior and I went to the same high school at different times. He was pretty far behind me. We hired them, and we had a lot of bands that were repeat bands all the time.
Charlie would always coin the phrase Charlie's Follies because we never knew what to expect from the entertainment. Some was going to be wildly amusing, and some was going to just be, you were going to shake your head in question as to how did these guys make it in here, you know? In 1985, they decided to produce a movie here in Ocean City. It was called Violets Are Blue. Charlie Smith was the managing partner, and he was the lead liaison between the movie and Fager's Island. Catamaran sailboats were going to be part of the movie, and so we had egress into the water. We had a beach, and that's what allowed them to come here and do so much filming. And as the crew and production was here, it was just an exciting and legendary time, because at that time no movies had been made in Ocean City.
But I think they were looking for a visual, and this was a visual. We always had sailboats kind of sitting up there and everything. I think they probably wrote the sailboat scenes into it. It was a huge amount of fun. We had them here for several days. And we got to know Sissy Spacek, Kevin Kline, and actually I was on the committee for that. My wife Dawn and I took Sissy and her husband, who was the director, we took them to the premiere up here at the Sun and Surf Theater in the limo, and that was fun too.
The catch that people have to this place, and it's not only just the employees, it's the customers. You know, everybody has a piece of this place in their heart.
The sunset is a big moment. It's big for both dining rooms. It's big for the bar. A lot of people come here just to have a cocktail and enjoy the sunset, whether they're on the gazebo or whatever. And so that's a huge kind of iconic Fager's Island thing that does tie in the natural beauty and the setting.
Oh, beautiful, for heroes proved in liberating strife.
What does the 50 years mean to me? That's my life. It's that emotional for me, because I've been here that long. I'd like to say thanks to John, and thanks to all the good people who I've hired along the way who made the job successful.
The thing that strikes me the most, embraces me the most, are all the friendships and camaraderie that this building brewed up and produced, and it's just indescribable.
I've really enjoyed the friendship, the love, the camaraderie of this establishment, and that came from John and from Charlie. They really just were good leaders, good mentors, but they were good parents to us as well. You know, so I grew up my life here. I grew up more or less. He made us feel like family, and I bought into it. Hook, line, and sinker.
For me, it just makes me want to continue the business going forward, you know, with my brother. You know, make sure we get another 50 years. You know, there's going to be some struggles and hard times, but I don't see why, you know, we wouldn't be able to make it through it.
Going forward the next 50 years, I think it's kind of interesting. You know, my dad was around my age when he started this business and restaurant. All his friends were here, and now they're older, and now it's a whole nother generation. I think looking forward, I kind of had the same opportunity to start bar backing here when I was 18. So I was in the nightclub, I was behind the bar. It was nice to learn from my own generation what they like and how to change things for them in my own perspective too. Like John always did, it's always about evolving the restaurant, evolving the nightclub, making sure those people that are 21 coming in this year are going to be coming in here when they're 30 and 35. Forward to building is that younger generation and keeping them coming back again and again. Once they're 30, they might come in for a prime rib and sit in fine dining. They might come for the 5 to 10 band. They might come in for lunch. We can serve these people in different ways over the years, which is really cool.
Like, I hadn't really planned it to be here 50 years looking like this. Once it started to evolve, then, you know, you could see the future, you could see what was happening. You know, my dad, when he was alive, used to say, Fager's Island is a miracle. And I look at it that way.